This is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. This case started off by the police putting a man under surveillance who was selling kilo amounts of cocaine in the Windermere area. Cumbria police had asked the NWROCU detectives to help bring down a local drug dealer called Rhys Barnes, and he was responsible for selling cocaine on a large scale. But this also led to the seizure of 50 kilos of cocaine on the motorway, and then a further unravelling of an OCG that was worth over £50 million.
11th of May, Warhurst went to Harwich and collected 50 kilos of cocaine. That 50 kilos was intercepted by the police on the M6.
Okay, stand by. I'm just moving up behind.
Challenge it, mate, challenge it.
Challenge is in. Stand by. White male, balding head, mid-50s, glasses.
The operation was called Matrix, and this week several people have been jailed for a total of 100 years for their involvement in this organised crime group. Several different factions were actually convicted, and the most recent one was on the 25th of January 2024, following a trial of Scott Owen, who was convicted after he was arrested at the airport returning from Portugal. They also found connections between Dubai as well, and Cheshire-based organised crime group leader Stephen Stockwell would trade kilogram quantities of cocaine for £30,000 in cash. During the investigation that started in March 2022, NWROCU police put Rhys Barnes under surveillance, and they followed him as he went to meetings to retrieve the drugs that he would sell on in ounce amounts. They gathered evidence on the country lanes that they met on, and CCTV showed Barnes with a stash of drugs that he put in a shoebox in a local storage unit near his home address. He would then supply it locally and make a lot of profit, they said. He would use this to fund his lifestyle that included holidays and city breaks. His supplier was arrested on the 3rd of February 2023 while still on licence for a drug conviction. His vehicle was stopped on the M56 in Cheshire, and police found more than 40 grams of cocaine hidden inside his car. A search of his house revealed more drugs and paraphernalia, and they seized the dealer's list with hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of debts that he had documented. While one of his main suppliers was in custody, Rhys Barnes reached out to another Manchester organised crime group that included Scott Owen and Darryl Preston. He would then try to source larger amounts of cocaine, and on the 4th of February 2023, a drug deal took place between Barnes and Kane Turner, which led to the arrest of Barnes later that day in possession of 1 kilo of cocaine. Turner delivered 22 kilos of cocaine to other customers on the same day, but was arrested by officers when he was stopped in his car on the motorway, and they found £30,000 hidden underneath the front seat. During the investigation, detectives were able to find evidence about the conspiracy throughout, and Turner had transported more than 100 kilos of cocaine with an estimated street value of £13 million. He was being controlled by a crime group led by Andrew Stevens and Simon Buller, and he's due to be sentenced next month. As part of the investigation, detectives became aware of other dealers who were supplying Rhys Barnes with cocaine. Thomas Whitaker and Michael Evans were both based in Skelmersdale, and they were supplying multi-kilos to customers across the country. They would regularly supply Class A drugs to customers in Swansea, South Wales, and were part of an organised crime group that originated from Portugal. During one trip to Cardiff, Evans was caught with 7 kilos of cocaine with a street value of more than £700,000. Whitaker was arrested on the 25th of May 2023, and warrants were carried out at his partner's address in Kirby, which led to the seizure of a BMW that was used by Whitaker to transport the drugs, and police also found 600 grams of cocaine hidden in a vehicle near his home address. Andrew Stevens and Simon Buller used encrypted mobile connections that included WhatsApp and also Signal. They sent postcodes of drug deals to their couriers, and they would use tokens to ensure the drugs were handed over to the right people. Analysis of the messages produced evidence they were working with criminals that were based in Dubai, that were controlling the importations from Holland into the UK. Stevens and Buller were the UK head of the crime gang, and they would send their couriers to the ports to collect it and then move it to safe houses in Manchester. On one occasion, on the 11th of May 2023, they used courier Anthony Warhurst to pick up 50 kilos from the port in Harwich, which is in Essex. This had came on a shipment from Holland, directed by the gangsters in Dubai, and on his way back to the northwest, police stopped him on the motorway and he was arrested with the drugs that had a street value of more than £5 million. Police were able to find evidence Warhurst had made multiple trips to Harwich on the direction of Stevens and Buller, and they were arrested themselves later that day. Stevens and Buller had evidence that they distributed 230 kilos of cocaine during the conspiracy period, with a street value of £23 million. The final Manchester-based crime gang that involved Scott Owen and Darryl Preston that were charged and convicted on Operation Matrix facilitated multi-kilos of cocaine to Reece Barnes through Whitaker and Evans, and this also linked to Stevens and Buller. Owen was arrested on a flight back from Portugal on the 13th of May 2023, and Preston was arrested near his home address. In total, Operation Matrix revealed the supply of 350 kilos of cocaine that was supplied by various crime groups and accumulated to £53 million. Scott Owen from Manchester was jailed for 14 years and 6 months. Darryl Preston from Manchester was jailed for 11 years and 6 months. Stephen Stockwell, 62, from Cheshire was jailed for 12 years. Reece Barnes, 31, from Windermere was jailed for 12 years. Thomas Whitaker, 42, from Skelmersdale was jailed for 12 years. Michael Evans from Skelmersdale was jailed for 6 years. Andrew Stevens from Cheshire was jailed for 20 years. Anthony Warhurst, 58 years old, was jailed for 9 years and 8 months. And Kane Turner from Manchester was jailed for 8 years and 8 months. Simon Bullitt is yet to be sentenced, but he pled guilty this month. Detective Superintendent Ian Whitehead from the Regional Organised Crime Unit said, "The convictions of these individuals has a serious impact on the drug supply in the northwest and also across the UK as a whole. We have effectively shut down a drug importation route from Holland into the UK, and in total 9 people have been convicted and sentenced to over 100 years in prison. Collectively, these individuals assisted each other in the distribution of cocaine not only to Reece Barnes, but to hundreds of customers across the UK." So I thought this story was really interesting, mainly due to the fact of how many different people got dragged into this just by the police finding out about one person being supplied kilo amounts of drugs. So I look forward to hearing what the viewers have to say. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Peace.